welcome back to episode number 67 now of Skins in the Game. We got J-Dubs this week, of course. How you doing today, J-Dubs?
I'm doing good. I remembered my jersey.
Yes. We had the horrible green last week.
I know. I put it on early. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. So, no, doing good. This is the rainy season in Florida, so every day pretty much we had some wicked storms come through earlier, but really cool lightning. No, I'm not complaining.
Poor babies.
No, I'm actually not complaining. The straight down lightning bolts are amazing, and they're like on top of us, and I love watching storms, so I'm really not complaining. So.
What up, Hawk? I'm assuming the storms are probably pretty cool, because don't you have like a glassed-in pool or whatever?
Screened in, but yes.
Wait, does water come in then? Do you have to like get out of the way?
Well, we have a covered porch next to it, a lanai next to the pool where we sit, but the pool is all screened in. And it's funny because I mentioned to my wife that I said we should try to like get a cover like in the middle of the screen, and she goes, "Yeah, well then you wouldn't get any sun." And I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Well, you could get some sort of clear cover, like as I said, like glass or something.
Well, we could, but
anyway. What up, Zop?
Good morning.
Bot? Thanks for becoming a member. Look at that. You see the little Tim's Sports Talk logo. Well, this one on here is like a little membership logo, but on actual YouTube it shows up as a Tim's Sports Talk logo. So if you want to become a member, $1 a month, you can get that cool little logo. And
all right, well, I assume they're being funny with the good morning. I assume he's not that far away.
Well, he's in like London or something.
Oh, really?
Or Ireland. He's in the UK somewhere. So somewhere in that range. What's up, Neil? How's it going? All right. So we got some interesting stuff to talk about this week for sure. We'll get into the lows and then highs, apparently, of the Brian Robinson fiasco. We'll get into our closing thoughts on the Ravens game and how the preseason went as a whole. And then we're going to hop into this 53-man roster discussion. We'll get the ins and outs of that and what we think. And then, of course, we're going to end the show with the division predictions and Weddle, of course. Oh, wait, you're in Montana. I'm sorry. So why would you say good morning? I guess he was being a joke. Sorry, I got... Pat Hanlon's the one in Ireland, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, but even in the UK is only like 3 hours ahead of us, or behind us. So it's 10 o'clock there. So either way, it's not.
I think it's like maybe 4 or 5. I think it might be 4 or 5. But anyway.
Okay.
It still wouldn't be really morning though. The worst case scenario, it's like midnight. So it's literally just got to morning in that case. Sorry, you're in Montana. I'm sorry. I got you confused with the other one. But we got a super chat to start the show before we get into. Actually, you know what? Thank you for the super chat, but we got to start this show with the dad joke of the week, like we always do. Then we'll get into more comments. Okay, so this week I'm going to do the dad joke of the week because I heard a funny thing on Facebook, and I thought it was a good one. I thought it would be a good one for the dad joke of the week. So we'll see. We'll give Dad a week off.
We'll let the chat decide whether or not it rates high enough to take over for this week, but you have the floor.
All right, so 3 moles go into a cave. They start sniffing around. One says, "I smell sugar." The other one says, "I smell chocolate." And the third one says, "I smell molasses." Have you heard that one?
I have heard that one.
Okay, you have heard that one.
That's a good no. I will allow you to usurp, or not usurp, is that the right word? Or
sure.
Take
over
the
on
floor
this
week. Yes.
Okay.
So,
it was not a dud.
It was not a dud.
All right. Hawk TV, thank you so much for the super chat. 9.99 says, "Bruce and Damian Wayne ain't got nothing on this father and son duo. How do you think we'll fare after the waiver wire and practice signings?" We'll definitely get way more into that stuff, but it's an interesting roster. They made some interesting moves of confusing, but kind of understandable in some ways, but we're going to get way more into that. But thank you very much for your comment. But all right, let's go ahead and hop into what do you got?
All right. Again, I don't know if you you probably already know this, but you know what receiver this is a multi-part thing. So what receiver holds the record for the most yards in the season?
That should be Calvin Johnson.
Yep.
Okay.
And do you know who's number 2?
Well, now it's Cooper Kupp.
Right. And you know what their common denominator is?
Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford.
Yes.
The only, I believe, and I looked and looked, I couldn't find it, but I believe the only quarterback in NFL history that has ever had a receiver with the most yards in a season on 2 different teams.
You're probably right.
I couldn't find anything, and I
To
know
disprove
that doesn't
that,
mean
yeah.
anything.
So, we got your own stat this time. You're making it up on the spot here. That almost certainly means you're wrong. But
well, I'm wrong about most things. So,
because yeah, like I'm thinking like Peyton Manning, he had like Demaryius Thomas and Marvin Harrison, but I don't think Demaryius Thomas ever led the league in yards. Or like Tom Brady, like none of his receivers in Tampa ever led the league in yards. Randy Moss may have back in 2007. If you go back farther, some interesting quarterbacks that moved teams. Like I don't think Joe Montana ever did anything much on the Kansas City team.
well, here, hold on. I
don't know.
have.
It's interesting.
Hold on 1 second. Let me got too many windows open, but hold on. Where is the?
There you go.
All right, so we have. Let's look.
While you're looking that up, I just read, I was at the last preseason season game and Sam Howell made me a believer. Imagine thousands of fans howling at the stadium whenever Sam Howell makes plays over the field. Ooh, we should have been the Red Wolves, man. Imagine if we were the Red Wolves and our starting quarterback was Sam Howell. Come on. Anyway, that's not my what do you got. But did you look up what you needed to look up?
No, I'm looking like I see in Marvin Harrison led the league in 2002, but I don't see anything after that with Denver. And then you were saying, I want to see if anybody
Tom Brady?
I'm looking for New England. New England, Wes Welker in 2011, but
really led the league in yards?
according to this, he had 1,569 in 2011. And I don't see any Tampa Bay after that. So,
yeah,
like I said, it's one of those things where it's kind of hard to look up. So maybe somebody can find something I couldn't find. But
right.
I believe that Matt Stafford is the only quarterback in NFL history that had two different receivers lead the league on 2 different teams. So anyway, that's what I got. So
all right, here's what I got. I got 2 what do you got. One is I'm becoming like a betting machine all of a sudden. I've won 11 out of 12 bets. I put some money on a site with my buddy, and so I can only do so many because I'm subject to when he's available to actually make a bet for me. But I'm either 10 out of 11 or 11 out of 12 throughout the preseason, and I've bet on some baseball games the last couple of days, and I've actually over doubled my money already. So I think that was.
I did pay attention to the
cool.
Pittsburgh. You said you bet on Pittsburgh game. I did pay attention. I was like, well, he hit that one. So
yep. And then one of them is, of course, my wife. I gave her an even game to pick. I was like, just pick. It was either the San Diego Padres or the San Francisco Giants, and it was pretty much an even spread. And she picked the Padres, and the Padres pulled it out last night. So there you go. Time to bet the house. No chance you will lose. Yes. As soon as I up my bet count. Because I'm letting like $5. I'm winning like $5 at a time or something. I'm not winning game-changing money.
I'm pretty sure he's going to have to get a kitchen pass to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So I got permission to throw 50 on there, and we'll see if it grows. But my other what do you got was I was so mad. Okay, I got to bring it up on this show. Okay, I have to. Drew Lock did not win the starting job in Seattle. Right now they have Geno Trash Can Smith starting for their team. And Geno Smith, I'm sure, is a very nice guy, okay? I'm sure he's a great human being. He is a terrible old quarterback that has no chance of leading them anywhere. Like, give the young buck a chance. He's only 25 years old. Of course, he made a few mistakes, but he also showed tremendous things. He's got a great arm, great movement in the pocket. There's so much stuff that this kid has potential of.
Well, is there a chance, or are they not? I guess they're not allowed to do that, but is there a chance that it's a smoke screen?
No, because you don't announce the starting quarterback and then just change later. That would be bad etiquette to the guy you're doing it to. Like, if Geno thinks he's the starter and they're like, actually, just kidding, 2 days beforehand. Like, no, usually once you make that decision and announce it, then that's what you got to roll with because you've already made the call.
Well, maybe Gino has a mysterious injury that he's nursing, and the coach said, "Look, I want to throw the league off. So I know you can't start week 1, but I want to throw him off." So, and he knows he can't play
I
because
mean, this is the coach that threw the ball on the 1-yard line instead of running it into the end zone with Marshawn Lynch. So he may do stupid things like this. You know, this would not be the
it's
stupidest
possible.
thing he's done since being the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. So he's doing a great job there. But all right,
Hey,
ready to hop in?
6 inches on that play, and he's a genius. Because everybody on that field thought it was going to be Marshawn Lynch, and he thinks, you know what?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna make a decision to just throw everybody off, and the defender made a great play. There's no doubt about
Oh,
it.
Malcolm Butler did a great job.
So
Absolutely.
anyway,
Absolutely. Yeah, no, the definitely. There was also like stats on like Marshawn Lynch on the 1-yard line or in short that season, and he actually wasn't super effective. It was actually kind of interesting, like going back and like maybe 50% or something. It wasn't like he was getting it at like a 90% clip or something, but still.
well, and how many? There's been hundreds, if not thousands, of decisions that coaches have made in games where they're either a genius or they're an idiot. So in that case, he was an idiot. But if he makes that catch, everybody on the defense is keying on Marshawn Lynch. He's thinking,
Except for Malcolm Butler, he was keying on the slant.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
All right. Well, maybe that'll be great because I hope Drew Lock starts. I just wanted them to give him the keys one time. I was willing if he sucked it up after that, and they benched him by week 8 or whatever. I was willing to let it go. But now, most frustrating, I will never know if Drew Lock, if he was given the keys, given the support of the coaching staff, what could he have done? I will never know. But oh well. What are you gonna do? I'm off
I
my
can't
soapbox.
imagine. I can't imagine what Geno Smith has that makes the coaches think we have a better shot at winning with him.
Zero. It's stupid.
I can't think of anything. So yeah,
It's a lot.
it's bizarre.
Yep. All right,
Look
let's
for a
hop
mysterious injury, but go ahead.
in. Let's hop into these topics, and we're hopping into the Brian Robinson Jr. was shot on Sunday, 2 bullets to the leg, or 1 to the glute and 1 to the upper leg. He was apparently being carjacked over by Union Station, and he tried to wrestle away one of the guns, and then apparently his partner was the one that actually shot him to prevent Brian Robinson from taking the gun from him. It doesn't look like they got the car, so I guess they shot and ran because there was a tow truck towing away Brian Robinson Jr.'s car. So maybe it wasn't a carjacking, maybe it was just an armed robbery trying to get money. I have no clue. Nobody really knows. I believe that they're still out there. They haven't found them, but they could believe that these kids were maybe as young as 15 years old shooting
Not
a professional
surprising.
athlete.
It's a bizarre story on so many levels.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any details to make any judgments, but was he in the car? Was he getting in the car? How do they shoot him in the leg twice?
Mm-hmm.
When normally if I'm shooting at you, I'm aiming at you, not down at your legs. But again, I don't want to make any judgments because it just seems just a little strange and bizarre. But until more details come out about it, if they ever do,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently the reason he got shot in the leg, I guess they weren't trying to kill him, they were just trying to rob him. And then when he tried to take the gun, I'm assuming the other kid was like, let me just shoot him in the leg to try to stop him from continuing to fight my friend at that point. 'Cause
well,
it sounds
and
like they were
you
just
know what?
dumb kids.
This is going to sound really, really stupid, but kudos to the one young kid that actually had the foresight to not. I don't want to kill this guy. I just want to stop him.
Yeah.
I mean, because normally you don't think I didn't mean to kill him. I didn't mean to do. It's like, so if that's what happened, then as screwed up as this kid is, he at least had the forethought to say, I don't want to be charged with murder.
Yeah. Yep. Because at that point, yeah, if he's like the friend that is not really the mastermind of it, he's just there doing it, and then his other friend is the one that's taking the lead and trying to like actually go up on Brian Robinson. it's possible that he's actually not that bad of a kid. He's just being misled. If he's 15, like, you can't really be. You're gonna do dumb stuff. Unfortunately, it's super dumb what they did. But you're gonna do dumb stuff at 15. You raised me. You know that how I did dumb stuff at 15, 16, 17. Yeah, exactly. So, or he's a bad shot.
So what time was this? Do we know the time?
Apparently, it was sometime in the early evening because it started releasing right around like 7 o'clock. I think 6:57 was the first report, and so you got to imagine there was like a little bit of time before it actually hit Twitter. So probably around 6-ish, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Apparently, he was just there to eat dinner. Like he was down there by Union Station. There's a bunch of restaurants, and they were celebrating the fact that he just got told he won the starting job of the starting running back for Washington. So we went out to dinner. I don't know who he was with or whatnot, or if he was just by himself or what. I don't know why you would be by yourself in downtown DC just going to eat dinner.
Can I just make a suggestion to all these young guys in the NFL that are making a really good amount of money? When you want to go out, God bless you, go out, get a frickin' limo or a driver.
Yeah.
Let them drive you. I mean, you're making a lot of money, a few $100s to go out and just have somebody take care of you, and then
you're not parking on the street.
Yeah. And what I imagine was there's a reason why they targeted him. Probably, I don't know what he drives, but I'm guessing it's not like
It was a nice vehicle. It wasn't like a Lamborghini or a Bugatti or whatever, but I couldn't quite tell from the front because basically the Camaros and the Darts and the Mustangs almost all look very much similar from the front, and that's the only view that I got. But it was somewhere in that class of vehicle, like a Camaro or a Mustang or something like that. Maybe it was like a Dodge or something. I don't know. Charger. It wasn't a Charger, I don't think, or a Challenger. But anyway, it was in that class though, so it wasn't like a super high-end vehicle, but it was a nice vehicle for a rookie contract.
I would have expected more like a Benz.
It was a Dodge Charger. It wasn't that bad of an area. Just went out for food. It was a Dodge Charger. Okay, it was a Dodge Charger. I didn't think it was. Oh, you know what? I was thinking Challenger. It definitely was not a Challenger. Yeah, it may have been. Yeah, so Dodge
very close.
Charger,
Those are very close to each other. So okay,
yeah.
I still say, and again, I never blame the victim. I never say you're at fault for doing this, but just get a limo. Just get a driver.
Yeah.
Take your group out to celebrate. And if you're celebrating, there's probably alcohol involved. Let the driver drop you off in front of wherever you're going and then pick you up afterwards.
Yeah.
It's a small amount of money, again, compared to what you're making. So, and stupid luck.
Yeah, it was, of course it's not his fault that got shot, but you're just giving ways that could help, is all it is. Like, yes, it's not your fault that you went in downtown to get food, and as somebody down here said, it wasn't a horrible area. It's right by Union Station, and so it's a bunch of office buildings and restaurants, and so it's not like he's in the slums or anything. It's right there in downtown DC, and this happens to you. But there are steps that you could take, and that's all that we're talking about. But it's not no blame to Brian Robinson, and thank God this guy's okay.
Zero, and thank God, exactly.
Yeah,
thank God
I
he's
remember
out.
When Sean Taylor got shot, we all went to bed and he was in stable condition. And then by the next morning, he's gone. Yep. That's insane. And so I remember I was not sleeping easy or, resting easy on Sunday night hearing, oh, he's in stable condition.
Right.
Like, it could be anything at that moment, but when I woke up the next day and Ron Rivera had put out his tweet of and talked to Brian, he's in good spirits, blah, blah, blah. It's like at that point, all right, it seems like he's past it. And then it came out that he posted on his Instagram of the surgery went well. And then 2 days later, after being shot, he's already back in the training facility.
It's amazing.
With everybody, which was awesome. So super, super great for Brian Robinson. And then on top of that, he makes the 53-man roster and hasn't even been ruled out technically for week 1.
Maybe they were just flesh wounds.
Yeah, the chance of him playing week 1 is slim to none, but technically there's only a D next to his name, doubtful, not out, and they didn't put him on IR. Now, there was some talks that apparently this might be a good gesture from Ron Rivera, that if they threw him on IR now, that he wouldn't have gotten the roster bonus and wouldn't have gotten paid accordingly, and like wouldn't have gotten paychecks or something. Like his paychecks would have gone down a lot and wouldn't have got the roster bonus, or it would have some sort of money related situation. So good move by Ron. This is obviously not his fault. He didn't do anything wrong, and he's a rookie just getting into the league. So they keep him on the roster for now so that he gets the roster bonus and gets paid for making the 53-man roster. And they may not even take him off the roster as far as like IR or anything until after week 1, because apparently money is different when getting cut or IR or whatever after week 1.
It will be interesting to see what happens after week 1. And if he starts on week 1, then I got to figure they were flesh wounds. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, he got hit in the artery. He plugged it with his thumb, and he's back. All right. No. Yeah. There you go. No,
I just go back to Clinton Portis.
He actually got shot in the head. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, 9 times. It was 9 bullets shot in the head, and he's already back. Okay? No, just kidding. But go ahead.
But no, I was thinking about Clinton Portis talking about Sean Taylor at the hospital and how they were trying to give him enough. I mean, his femoral artery was severed, which is about the size of your pinky.
Yeah.
And they were giving him as much blood as they could, but they could not keep up with the bleeding. And he was talking about the blood and everywhere. It was just like they just couldn't put blood in fast enough, and there was nothing they could do about where he was. I mean, that small of an area to get shot there, plus so far up his leg that they couldn't tie it off. They couldn't do it. There was nothing they could do. And yeah, so the fact that Brian Robinson is out of the hospital within a day or two and is walking, then maybe he is Superman.
He is walking with crutches, but yeah, still. You know, how weak? I mean, crutches? Come on, man. Get it together. Like, jeez. All right? You're being dramatic. All right? You're being dramatic here. But no, it was good. And yeah, so good for B-Rob. Hopefully we'll see him later in the season. I loved what I saw in preseason, and hopefully this doesn't cause him any step backs even when he plays like he's not himself or whatever. Hopefully he comes back fully healthy, ready to go, and maybe even by mid-season, week 8, week 9 or something, maybe we could see him then. I got to imagine that if, as you said, flesh wound or whatever, like, I feel like I can see a scenario he's back in like a month and a half, but then I can also see a scenario that he's like out for the entire season. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, where did the bullet go? And I guess if
what
it's not
damage
that
did
big
it
of a deal,
cause?
yeah, that it's possible that he may be back in 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks or something, and he's ready to go. I'm not a doctor, but we'll see.
But you play one on TV.
Is that what I do now? Okay.
That's an old. That went over your head because that's an old one.
I smell molasses. Is all I'm saying. All right,
there was an old commercial that said, "I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV." That it was an old. It was way before your time. Sorry.
Yep. The fact that he made the 53-man roster means he'll be back by week 4. As I was saying, it might be a generous move by Ron Rivera and company that they're keeping him on the team so that he gets paid accordingly. So it's like a generous move. They didn't want to take the money from the young kid. So it might not be injury related, but we don't know. It could mean what you just said. It's possible that he means that he's not on IR, so that means they think that he could be ready by week 4, but it's also possible that they're just being generous. So until we get further clarification after week 1, we may not know until then. But it would be crazy if he's back within the first 4 weeks of getting shot. And then you hear, oh, poor Jordan Reed, you got turf toe? You can't play, Jordan?
You know what? I'm predicting he starts by week 2.
Good. That would be awesome. I hope so, but I think that's a crazy prediction. I would be surprised. I'd be shocked. But that would not be my prediction. But I hope you're right, as usual. All right. let's hop into this Ravens game a little bit. So, of course, it was mostly backups. I think only 3 starters out of the entire team played, which was Benjamin St-Juste, Jamin Davis, I believe. Was it Jamin Davis? And then... Crap, who was the other one? Fedarian... Was it Matt? No, James Smith-Williams. That's what it was. Because with Chase Young out, James Smith-Williams is now the starter, but he did play. So it was Benjamin St-Juste, Jamin Davis, and James Williams. So we'll see. So mainly my point is that it's just backups that we saw. It was a great game to watch, though, considering it was a third preseason game with no starters. That it was an extremely exciting back and forth kind of affair with, at least it wasn't necessarily the scoreboard was back and forth, but we were driving on them, then they would make a big play and we would drive back. It was a back and forth in that sense. But were you able to actually catch the game?
I watched it on the simulcast or whatever you call it, the game cast on ESPN. So
same thing. The bar in your area.
There was it was not available here. They had 4 other games during that or 4 games I think at the same time. So I knew they were not going to cover it, but
yeah.
But I was listening to your podcast on the second half. So entertaining as always, and I got my hopes up, but then they threw an interception, and then it was all downhill. But
yes. Actually, no, wait. No, that was the game last week that he threw the pick. He didn't throw any picks this week. They just did. It was an incomplete pass on the 2-point conversion that they didn't tie it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I can tell.
Not unusual for me to be confused, so.
Yep, but anyway, overall takeaways from this game, Anthony Brown for them looked pretty solid, but again, our secondary was abysmal, and really only William Jackson and Kendall Fuller, and I guess the backups, and the starting safeties, of course, Bobby McCain and Cameron Curl did not play, but the backup secondary is a problem, and especially it starts with our 4th-round pick, Percy Butler. You can't be jumping a slant route when you're supposed to be the deep cover 2 safety. Like, you have a cover 2 corner for a reason covering that area. Let him cover the flat, and you have to cover deep. He jumped hard, which is what allowed that 67-yard touchdown pass, easy completion for a touchdown, making Danny Johnson look horrible on that play. But in reality, it's because he had no safety over the top. So the secondary was continuing to be a huge problem for this team as far as the backups were concerned. Christian Holmes did make the team, though. We'll talk more about that. So he looked solid. He's more of a zone corner. On offense, Jarrett Patterson, man, he looked really good. 4 catches for 45 yards. He had 11 carries for 47 yards, so 90 yards of total offense for Jarrett Patterson. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough. Reggie Bonifant looked horrible. But really the story is Sam Howell. Sam Howell looked tremendous in a lot of ways. Now, he's still a rookie. He's not going against top-notch defenses and all that good stuff. All the qualifiers. But considering a week 3 of the preseason, he looked awesome. Did you go back and look at his highlights at all?
I saw the highlights, and I go back to what I said before the preseason, where there's not a lot of good that you can pull from the preseason, but there is a lot of bad. And the fact that he was able to perform like that against basically scrubs is an indicate, if he'd have performed badly against the scrubs, then that would have been a bad sign. But what it means good, I don't know, but I didn't take anything bad away from what he did.
True. So he was 24 for 35 with a touchdown, 280 yards and a touchdown, and he also had 8 carries for 62 yards. That was the most exciting part, was the escapes this guy had on Saturday. So many times he looked dead to rights. Like, this guy's easily getting sacked, 2-3 guys around him, and he somehow found a way to squirt out of there, and he got first downs with his legs several times on I think it was 2nd and 12. He got a first down with his legs, a couple of 1st and 10s, a couple of 3rd downs. He had, as I said, 8 carries for 62 yards, and pretty much all of those 8 carries were significant. So good for Sam Howell. He was sacked 5 times for 26 yards, which one of them didn't really count as a sack because he got back to the line of scrimmage, but they counted it as a sack. So really it was 4 times for 26 yards, which is more than you would want, and that could be a combination of linemen, but it also is a combination probably of him holding on too long, which was evident by how many times he ran the football. So, and that's what he did in college. He ran the football a lot in college, especially in that similar way. He likes to do things with his legs, and that's what we saw.
So here's a quick question.
Yes.
Should we be amused by the fact that Harbaugh likes the winning streak in the preseason? Just asking for a friend.
Just asking for a friend. What do you think about the winning streak of the preseason?
Oh, I think it's, that and 50 cents will get you a small cup of coffee somewhere. I don't think it means anything.
Not with this inflation.
No, that's right. Oh yeah, it'd be more like $5 or $8 if you go to Starbucks, but I don't go to Starbucks. But I'm pretty sure I can still get a cup of coffee for $1.29. So
it is cool to have a 23-game win streak. I mean, it's better than a 23-game losing streak, even though the games don't count for anything technically. But I do think it helps with team morale when you're finding ways to win close games. And, like, yes, you're doing it in a preseason game that doesn't really count, but you're still winning as a mindset.
Yeah, well, just ask what Joe Gibbs thinks of that.
True. He had a lot of losing in the preseason. True. And if you don't have... But I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with, trying new things and not coming away with actual victories in the preseason because you're just trying to get looks. But I also think it's pretty cool to have a 23-game winning streak.
Bodhisattva is right. He went 0-4 all the time. My only question is, are the Ravens doing that with the vanilla playbook?
Oh, 100%. 100%. We should have won that game. Watching that game, we shot ourselves in the foot several times. On offense and defense.
I'd be curious to know how many times they blitzed.
Honestly, not all that much. From what I recall, it was... And we had guys open several times, right? Like, De'Ami Brown had a drop touchdown. Who was it that dropped the pass for the 2-point conversion? We were in the red zone 5 times that game. Like, we were driving it on them. We had a 3rd and 1 from the goal line, from the half-yard line, and we do a stupid false start. And then we end up getting a sack. And then all of a sudden it's 4th and 10 when you had a 3rd and goal from the half-yard line, and we take the field goal instead of trying to go for it, which makes sense. And
the Hawk is right. I know.
Yeah.
Of course, saying that, and I get it, but saying that would have changed the complexion of the game and maybe changed how it went. But yes, the Sly doesn't miss the field goal, and we potentially could have won 18-17. So I don't know.
Congrats to Baltimore for being the back-to-back-to-back preseason champs. Can't wait to raise the banners. That's funny.
But I know you were saying about Sly that you're not sure he's the guy. We had a conversation the other day, and I agree. He's, say what you want about preseason, but your kicker, I assume they're not using a backup center or a backup holder. When the kicker comes out, it's first string, and the fact that he's missing those is concerning.
Yeah, if there's anything that you want in the preseason, it's made field goals. Because to your point, those are starters every time. Every time those are starters, right? You got Cameron Cheeseman, you got Tress Way, and you got Joey Sly. Those are always your starters. And to miss 40-yard field goals twice, like he didn't take 57-yard field goal attempts or whatever, right? And they were just bad. I believe they were both shanked to the left. If I remember correctly. So it wasn't even close for those field goals. The guy has a leg. He has a booming leg. The guy could probably make it from 65 yards out. Like, the guy, not accurately, but strength-wise, he has the leg strength. Accuracy's the problem. Like, when we were at FedEx Field watching the practice, he was nailing them, and then they set him up for a 60-yard field goal. He had plenty of leg to make the 60-yarder. He just missed it wide right. And it's frustrating because it's such a mental game, and if you start to get that doubt at all in your head, you're done as a kicker. It's over.
Well, and something else, and I think we had this conversation before, maybe not, but I want pregame for them to set up a 6-foot partition.
Yeah.
And set it about 10 yards in front of them or however far in front of them you want. But when you're practicing field goals, have a 6 or 7 foot partition in front of you, and you got to make them over that. Because there's one thing to be at 65 yards with nobody on the field, and you're like, oh, yeah, I can make that. And then you got 22 guys or 21 guys in front of you. Now suddenly it's a little different. So I would love for them to bring out a partition and set it in front of them and say, kick field goals over that.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure they have their ways of making sure that he's getting height over the line, because that was Chris Blewett's problem from last year. Chris Blewett, shot. He kicked like.
Could you
3 out of
possibly
5
have a
field
worse
goals.
name for a football player? That's almost as bad as Suck Up.
Yeah, Ryan Suckup and Chris Blewett. What a great combination of kickers' names. Suckup, I don't think is that bad. I think he still has a job. Blewett was bad. Blewett. All right, Blewett. But all right, so we've kind of got your thoughts on it. But just to put a bow on this preseason, are you worried at all from what you saw and the fact that we went 0-3 in the preseason?
No, I don't care about the record. I care about the middle and the secondary. And I know everybody here knows the linebacking and the secondary is not concerned about the offense. I'm not concerned about the line. Chase Young notwithstanding, I'm concerned about the secondary and the linebackers. And I don't know. It doesn't matter what our offense does if we get sliced up in that middle.
Yeah.
So that's...
Yeah, if we score 30 points a game but give up 35...
Yeah, just talk to Peyton Manning, right?
Yeah.
And that's what Peyton Manning does.
So many times.
He scored 40 points. Yeah.
Or Drew Brees is another great example of, especially in like the 11 to 014, or not 11, but sorry, 11 to 14 seasons, the 2011, 2014. In between there, the defense was just absolutely abysmal for Drew Brees. But anyway, I digress.
Oh, I see the Storm Chasers in the house again.
Yes. What's up? How's it going there, Stormy? I saw clips, I believe, in Penn State during practice. They line up like a normal field goal with both sides, and then they have the band like surrounding them playing. Ooh, that's a good one. Cause a bunch of distractions. Yeah, that's a great one.
You know what? They should put the cheerleaders in front of
them. Yes. Now all of a sudden he could kick from 75. I don't know what happened. No, that's too good. All right. Well, I agree. I don't really care about the 0-3. I actually, you know what? Chalk it up. I agree with everything you just said. All right. You'll never hear that again. You'll never hear that again. That was
Please, everybody in the chat, make a note of that.
One and done. All right. I didn't even feel good saying it. I'm actually.
I know.
Right.
I hear you gagging over there.
Yeah, I think we have to end the stream and then restart or something. You know, I need a moment. But no. All right. No, but you had a good segue into the 53-man roster, worrying about the secondary. So let's quickly just talk about the lineup as it sat originally. Okay, of course, more moves were made after the original 53-man cut. But here's what we had going into it. So we had, of course, the 3 quarterbacks, Carson Wentz, Taylor Heineke, Sam Howell. No surprises there. We had 4 running backs with Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick. Brian Robinson was, of course, the surprise that we talked about. Wasn't sure if he was going to make the team. But we also kept Jonathan Williams, which kind of told me that they were keeping Jonathan Williams when they didn't play him this last week, right? He did not play on the final preseason game. And even if you're a little bit banged up, if you're fighting for a roster spot, you're going to find a way to get on the field. If they felt comfortable enough to say, hey, don't worry about it, just go sit on the sideline, you're fine, then they got to be feeling pretty confident in general for him. So Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, Jonathan Williams, and I know a lot of people were upset that Jarrett Patterson did not make the team. Jarrett Patterson is a high IQ running back. Jarrett Patterson understands the position. He's just not a great talent. And Jonathan Williams is a better athlete than him. And unfortunately, Jarrett Patterson's just too small, not quick enough for this league. He did make it on the practice squad, which we'll talk more about the practice squad in a bit, but it's not a shock to me to not see Jarrett Patterson, even though it'd be a great story to keep him. All right, moving on to the receivers. We kept 6 receivers. Alex Erickson is now on the practice squad, but we kept Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, of course. We did keep Cam Sims. We kept De'Ami Brown, which a lot of fans were questioning after a few drops this last preseason game, but he was a 3rd-round pick last year. They're gonna give him some opportunities. He stays, yep. And the one that won the last job, right? There was a big fight for who was gonna get that 6th wide receiver, and Dax Milne earned it. He looked great on Saturday. He's looked great throughout the preseason. I remember at the FedEx Field practice, he was beating anybody he faced one-on-one, and he was doing a great job throughout. So he's a tremendous little route runner. He could be a great slot receiver, but he is 6 foot. He can go out wide. Makes sense, and he's our punt returner most likely for the punt return unit.
Agreed.
Arguably, there was a few surprises. So I don't know if I would say the biggest surprise, but I was really shocked we kept 5 tight ends on this roster.
Yeah, that surprised me too. It's like, really? 5?
Yeah, who would have thought we would have kept more tight ends than cornerbacks? We'll get into that later, but we only kept 4 corners, but we kept 5 tight ends. Logan, of course, back off the IR from the ACL injury. John Bates has been dealing with injuries on the sideline, but he made the team, of course. Cole Turner, our 5th-round pick, and then Curtis Hodges and Armani Rogers. I was not surprised about Armani Rogers. I thought he looked really good. He's a great athlete, and he caught everything that came his way this preseason, and he seems to be picking up the position well. He's the quarterback transitioning into tight end. But Curtis Hodges, I believe he's like 6. Isn't he the one that's like 6'8"? Yeah, he's 6'8", 240 pounds. He makes the team for now. Of course, things could change.
So let me ask you this.
Yes?
Let me ask you this. You think it's trade bait? Or trade, not bait, but basically they grabbed a couple extra guys they think had some talent with the idea that as the season progresses, they'll be able to negotiate with other teams that might need a tight end?
I think they're trying to buy time until they get more clarity on all the injuries. Okay. I think that's the main thing, because we have pretty much 4 out of 5 are hurt. So I think they're keeping everybody for now.
Because they don't know who's going to be available.
Exactly. So if Logan's healthy and John Bates gets healthy, but Cole Turner's not, then they're going to keep Hodges and Armani Rogers, right? Like, that's just an example. But I think if you got Logan, Bates, and Cole Turner all healthy, I think that they keep Armani Rogers as the 4th tight end. And Curtis Hodges, unfortunately, goes to the wayside. Even though he didn't look bad by any means. It's not what he didn't do. Like he earned a spot, but I think Armani Rogers just looked better, personally. All right, moving on to the offensive line. So they ended up keeping 9 offensive linemen. So we kept 27 offensive players and only 23 defensive. I was predicting 26 offensive players and 24 defense, but the 5th tight end obviously is what threw me off as far as the numbers are concerned.
Wait, hold on.
What's that? 27
and 24 is not... Oh, that's right. I forgot the kicker in the... Never mind. Go ahead.
Did I say 24? I meant 23. Sorry, 27 and 20. So 27 on offense, 23 on defense. I was predicting 26 on offense and 24 on defense. So if I got that mixed up in any way,
and I was being stupid. I wasn't thinking of the kicker and the punter and the
that's
long
standard.
snapper.
No, these don't include that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's
you're saying that doesn't add up to 53. I see. Okay.
And then it was like I quickly realized, okay,
yeah,
John,
just
you're
getting
being
to 50.
stupid. Just shut up.
Yeah, I got you. So I had to make sure that we pointed it out. So I'm going to continue to... No, I'm just kidding. All right, so we had 9 offensive linemen. Of course, the starters, Leno, Norwell, Rouillet, Turner, and Cosme. Starting from left tackle to right tackle there. And then our swing tackles, Cornelius Lucas. Wes Switzer, of course, our swing interior lineman, if you will. He could play all 3 positions on the interior. Then we keep Sadiq Charles because he had the most position flex out of the backups. And then we kept our 7th-round pick, Chris Paul, who also has position flex. He can play guard or tackle. So
yeah, no surprises there.
Yeah, how can you forget the Cheeseman there, Dad? Dad, the Cheese Man. How do you forget? So, all right. So there's our.
Oh, I forget a lot of things. Just so you know.
So there's our linemen. Of course, Tyler Larson, Keith Ishmael, and Willie Beavers are all on IR. So they're not off the team yet, but they obviously are not a part of the 53. Willie Beavers looked good in this preseason. He can play also inside or outside, so guard or tackle on this team. So maybe he will end up taking Sadiq Charles' spot eventually. What I didn't like is that we waiver claimed Wes Martin just to cut him. Why are we wasting waiver positioning on a guy that you're just going to cut? Makes no sense. Because I didn't really see a path for him to make this football team anyway. So
maybe they were keeping him from somebody else.
How did Green Bay not draft the Cheeseman? How did they not do that? That would have been great. That would have been a fan favorite right off the gate.
All right, so before we move to defense,
yes.
I think we didn't see any major offensive injuries. The big names, the people that we were hoping that were going to make it. So that's kind of a good sign.
Well, other than, of course, Brian Robinson.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, I don't count that as an injury on the. That's not the coach playing him when he shouldn't have.
Yeah, no. Overall, we're
gonna blame Ron Rivera for his running back getting injured.
Yeah, exactly. Shouldn't have played preseason games, man. Come on. All right. So let's move to the defense here. So this was the original starting defense. We had, of course, I believe they combined the defensive line. I'm not looking at the right. I think it was 9 defensive linemen here, and so that's interior and outside.
Yeah, I see 9. Yep.
So it's James Smith-Williams.
And in tackle. Yeah.
Yep, James Smith-Williams and Montez Sweat are our starters for now at the left and right D ends, of course, with Chase Young on IR. We have Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen on the inside. And then we have Shaka Toney, Fedarian Mathis, F.A. Obata, Casey Toohill, and Daniel Wise, who Daniel Wise can also play inside or outside. He looks really good as a rotational dude. I think we'll see a little bit of all of these dudes throughout an individual game. Shaka Toney being the third down edge specialist, if you will. He's got great speed around the edge. Casey Toohill is going to be a rotational guy, but go ahead.
Hold on. Bodhisattva asked a good question. I don't know that he's saying Robinson. He doesn't think Robinson counts towards the roster number because the injury was not football related.
For now, he does count towards the roster. They kept him on the 53. So he actually, that was the surprising part. There was paths to keep him on the team, but not put him towards the 53-man roster. But no, he does count towards the 53-man roster as it sits today. Unless something changed in the last hour since I've already prepped the show, he is a part of the 53-man roster. Okay. Not even ruled out for week 1. So,
but sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. I just thought that was a good question.
It's a great question. I mean, it's a wrong question.
Bodhisattva gets lucky every now and then. What can I say?
No. All right. So,
still like the song. Go ahead.
Yes. All right, let's go ahead. And now we ended up keeping 5 linebackers. Now 2 of them are already cut, but we kept Cole Holcomb, Jamin Davis, Milo Eifler, and the other 2 were Jashawn Harris and David Mayo. Now, David Mayo and Dejon Harris are already off the team. They're already gone, which is fine. Jashawn Harris maybe could have been an interesting backup with some potential to grow maybe into something later, but David Mayo was absolutely garbage. He does not deserve to be on an NFL roster. So
you're saying we only have 3 linebackers on our roster right now?
Well, we signed John Bostic.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yep. No, not okay. He's garbage. He's horrible. What are we doing?
So what you're saying is we still have only 3 linebackers.
Precisely. Precisely. Okay, we got 3 linebackers and a guy that probably should be a coach. And even because apparently he can get all other 10 guys in the correct formation, he don't know where he's supposed to be. All right? So, very frustrating that we signed John Bostic. Ron, we asked for a linebacker. Okay? Not a trash can. So frustrating. So, anyway.
Dumpster fire.
Yeah, an absolute dumpster fire. It's horrible. But anyway,
Tim, don't sugarcoat it. Tell us what you really think.
molasses. That's what I think. All right. All right.
I didn't ask you what you smelled. I asked you what you thought. But go ahead, move along.
I repeat. No. Okay. So the biggest shocker on this team. Now we did make some moves since. What the part of the 53-man roster, I think, was only keeping 4 corners. Okay. We kept Kendall Fuller, William Jackson, of course. Those are our 1 and 2 starters. We kept Benjamin St. Juste, which was more likely to be our slot corner. And then we kept our rookie out of Oklahoma State, Christian Holmes, the 4th corner. That was the biggest shock. I thought we would keep at least 5. I thought we were going to probably keep 6.
Yeah, I think that's very slim. If something happens to one of them, then you're kind of screwed.
Right. So we did make moves after that, though. So we signed Tariq Castro Fields and Rachad Wild Goose. Rachad Wild Goose.
You sure that's not wild juice like Beetlejuice? You know,
Wild
remember the movie Beetlegeist, Beetlegoose?
Yeah, Wild Goose is what we got here. He's a 5'10", 191 corner out of Wisconsin. He was a 6th-round pick in 2021. So he got cut by Buffalo, and we went ahead and swooped him up because that was a mandatory get, apparently. He had 1 tackle in 2021. So that's good news, I guess.
Hey, he showed up.
You know what? That's probably means because he was a great shutdown corner, and they never threw his way.
We'll go with that.
100%. Okay, so Anthony Johnson says Tariq is 6'4" and ran a 4.38. When I'm reading, he's 6 foot even, 197. Now, I don't know what he ran, but he was a 6th-round pick out of Penn State from the San Francisco 49ers. They picked him in the 6th round. They cut him, and now we sign good old Jahan Dotson's teammate, Tariq Castro Fields, as a young project corner. I don't hate that move. A rookie. He's going to be our 5th corner on the roster. I think that's interesting. Rachad Wild Goose, I don't have much hope in, but Tariq, maybe. And who knows? That probably means Rachad Wild Goose is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then Tariq is going to get cut by, week 2. But take with it.
Maldito's Apke needs more love. He isn't being used right. What?
You just went to the line to get blocked. Okay, you didn't cross it, so you didn't get blocked yet. But you just went. No, I'm just kidding. What's up, Malditos? Apke is right where he should be, out of the league. Okay, MP, with the way Del Rio uses corners, I guess signing anyone off the street if injuries pile up. Pretty sure it'll be easy to find anyone to play 10 yards off the ball. I can do that. Sign me up, right?
Wow.
No. All right. And
this chat does know our team, don't they? They do.
Yep. So then we ended up keeping 5 safeties. Of course, Cameron Kroll and Bobby McCain are our starters. Right now it's Strong and Free, respectively. Then we kept our rookie from last year, Derek Forrest. And then we kept our rookie from this year, Percy Butler. And then we kept our special teams, basically he's our best special teams player. He's probably going to be the captain if I were to guess on special teams, maybe. Jeremy Reeves, the other safety. So he's going to be our 5th safety, probably not play a lot, but more.
So I assume none of these are crossover to cornerback.
Bobby McCain did have experience playing slot corner.
Well, that's the only reason why I bring that up. They only saved 4, but they have 5 safeties. Maybe they're thinking that we got a couple guys on the safeties that could fill in if they had to.
Yep, but unfortunately, the one that can is your starting safety, so I don't know. But anyway, yes, there is some position flex, of course, Ron's favorite word, but it is what it is. What's up, Abdella? Tim, how the heck do the Eagles sign Garner, Johnson, et cetera, and we sign Bostic? Does Ron want our secondary to suck? Well, they had to trade for Garner Johnson, I believe. I don't think it was just a sign. I think they had to trade something for him. They did make that move. Let me look. Hold on. CJ, Garner Johnson, Eagles. Let's see what the trade was real quick. Eagles wire acquired. Shocker, the Saints are trading DB Garner Johnson, the Eagles versus Tell. After extension talks broke down, the focus shifted. Do we got the details? Let's see. Trade details. Trade details. Eagles trade 2 picks, a 5th and a 6th rounder. That's actually a great move from the Eagles. And they get a 7th rounder back. So they really just traded 1 pick away and moved back. So they traded a 5th for C.J. Garner Johnson. I think that's actually a steal. It's a great move. And I guess that's because the Saints are in cap hell, and they don't have much to do. They don't have any money to sign anybody. So, anyway, the Saints secondary was a beast last year. Eagles will be good. And the Eagles have added a lot to their team, both on offense and defense. They're going to be an interesting team this year to watch, for sure. All right. So, we did make some moves to the practice squad. So, here's what listed to the practice squad right now. Good old Troy Apke to the practice squad. Alex Erickson to the practice squad.
They just can't let him go.
He's elite on a special. He's an elite gunner now on the scout team, is what he is. Aaron Montero, offensive tackle. He's on the practice squad. Farad Gardner, which I like a lot. Gardner is like a safety linebacker hybrid. I'm glad that he's on the practice squad. He's got great athleticism, big guy. So he's an interesting one. He was an undrafted free agent for us this year. We got Danny Johnson to the practice squad. Kareek McCowan. He was like our backup, or like our third string return man, pretty much. So we signed him to the practice squad. Khaleke Hudson goes to the practice squad. He got cut, which was actually surprising considering he was a draft pick of ours, but he is on the practice squad for now. He looked horrible last preseason game. Nolan Laufenberg, offensive guard. He's on the practice squad. He's a nobody. We'll never see him on the field. If we do, we're in trouble. William Bradley King on the practice squad, which was our 7th round pick from last year, an undersized defensive end. So he's on the practice squad. Corn Elder made it to the practice squad. Jarrett Patterson back on the practice squad. Nice. So we could see him elevated in a case where Brian Robinson doesn't play. Maybe JP will suit up instead of just keeping 3 running backs, maybe.
So what's the limitations on moving on and off the practice squad?
I feel like it used to be like you could only be like on a rookie deal or something, but then they expanded it during COVID, I believe, to veterans could then be put on the practice squad, and I don't think those rules have changed. I don't know all the details off the top of my head, but...
Well, no, I'm talking about activating them and deactivate, like, if you want Patterson to come onto the team, you move him up there. And then let's say Robinson gets better and you want Patterson to go back down to the practice squad. Is there any limitation to how many times you can move back and forth?
No. The only thing is that if they're on the practice squad, anybody can take them off. Like, anybody could
come
get
so
them.
They're I got you. Okay,
yeah.
So they're exposed that way. I got
exactly. Yeah, so you just can't put them on the practice squad and hold them there. If another team wants them, they can come take them from your practice squad.
Gotcha.
All right. Then 3 more left. We have Alex Kingbaloo, offensive tackle to the practice squad. John Toth, the guy that played center for most of the Ravens game. He's on the practice squad. And then Mark and Michelle on the practice squad, which that's exciting. I hope he continues to grow. He showed great things during that practice. He didn't do much during the preseason, which was unfortunate, but he's definitely an athlete to keep an eye on to maybe make a deep run at the 6th or 7th receiver if they decide to keep one if somebody gets hurt later. Looking at Alex Erickson's probably like the number 1 to get moved up if there was an injury to somebody. And then I would think that Mark and Michelle might be the number 2 guy as far as the practice squad is concerned. But yeah, so those are the moves. We talked about Deshaun Harris, David Mayo getting cut, and we cut a ton of other guys. Of course, the guys that I didn't mention that made the team are cut. Good old Bonifon or DeJuan Neal, Trey Walker's cut, Matt Cole, Tyler Clark, Wes Martin, Kendall Blanton. These guys all off the football team. But yeah, it's 8 o'clock, so we got a couple more topics here, and we're going to get out of here. But thank you guys so much in the chat. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe, and we got our final 2 topics. which, of course, is predicting the NFC West. Sorry,
Wait,
NFC
where's my dice?
And NFC North. Yes, so we've been doing it all preseason for the last few weeks of just giving our predictions of how the other divisions will fare.
By the way, thanks to Tim, we fell behind. Sorry.
Yes, I did forget 1 week, so we had to double up, and now we're doubling up again. But we will do NFC East next week for the final one before the start of the regular season. But for now, we got the NFC South. So the good old Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Bucks.
We starting at 4?
Yep, we're going to start at 4.
I go with the Falcons.
I'm going with the Panthers.
I know. I was right. I was close on the 2, but so
yep.
that's a 50-50 shot. But...
Honestly, I just did it to be different because I think either one of them are going to be at the bottom of the division.
Right,
I'm not a Baker believer anymore.
I changed my answer to the Panthers.
No, I go back to the Falcons. No. All right, so it's not a shock then both of us have the other one that's not at third then, right?
Yeah, the other one's going to be the third.
Yes.
Falcons,
right.
Panthers, Falcons, however you want to slice it up. They're bringing up the base.
All right, well, you said Falcons, then Panthers. I said Panthers, then Falcons.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
And now we're going to go to number 2. Who do you got at number 2?
Saints.
Saints, I do as well. And Bucks win the division. So the only ones different there are the Falcons and Panthers. All right.
Yep.
Before we go on to the North, I'm just going to read this comment. Tim, I remember when Ron first joined us and said he learned from the past mistakes. Now, after resigning Bostic, do you think he was being honest? Can't believe
when have you ever heard someone say, "I have not learned from my past mistakes"? Honest, dishonest, I don't know.
That is horrible.
Right. That's
I'm
a very
so
good
mad.
comment.
I put my reaction video out there to that news. If you want to go watch that, I don't know. You can tell me if it's funny or not, but it was genuine because I'm just frustrated. All right. Next up, we got the NFC North.
By the way, Anthony Johnson agrees with me, just so you know. Make a note of that.
It's up there. It's forever ingrained on that. The time that Anthony Johnson was wrong. All right?
Anthony, I'm on your side. We got him.
Yeah,
don't worry
AJ,
about it.
Clueless. All right. No. All right. Here we go. So the NFC North, we got the Packers, Vikings, Lions, Bears. So you started it the first time. I'm going to start this time. I got the Bears at the bottom of the division.
I'm going with the Lions.
All right, because the Bears are horrific. The Lions are an interesting team. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think they're good, but they do have some interesting talent.
And to your point, I just wanted to be different from you because I think the rest of the bottom 2 are going to be the same, and then we're going to...
All right, I got the Lions at number 3.
I got the Bears.
And who do you have at number 2?
Vikings.
I got the Green Bay Packers.
Ooh, you think the Vikings are going to take the division, huh?
I think the Vikings
You're riding the Kirk Cousins train.
That's right. All right. They have a new coach. They do have a ton of talent on that offense, and they have an offensive-minded coach now to ready to use it. Right? Maybe Kirk's not the most talented quarterback, but he's got so much talent around him. They got JJ, they got Adam Thielen, they got Irv Smith, who's an interesting athletic tight end, and they got Dalvin Cook, who could fight for one of the best running backs in the league. They got a great team over there. I got the Vikings winning it.
Look.
And the Packers are missing some pieces. And when this has happened in the past, there's been 500 seasons out of Aaron Rodgers before. I don't know if it'll be a 500 season again, but I could totally see maybe at best 10-7, and the Vikings could be 11-6.
Yeah, Kirk's getting old.
They just traded for the best wide receiver, Jalen. Who? Just gonna have Goff. That's why I put them last. True. Fair enough. Anyway, so you got Packers number 1, Vikings number 2.
Bears and the Lions, yes. And you
have so I have the Vikings, Packers, Lions, Bears.
Okay, so we're real. I think that's the most difference we've had in any of the divisions so far.
Actually, I thought there was one that we literally had every single one different, right? Well, this is every single one different as well.
I know. So maybe we had another one.
I think it was like the AFC North. because that was the Ravens, Bengals, Steelers. I think we were all over the place on that one too, because that was a tough division.
Oh, you could be right. I just know that this
or
one
it was the AFC West with the Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers. I mean, that's a tough one to predict as well.
Chiefs are taking that division.
You might be surprised, Dad. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
I don't even remember what I predicted. I'll write it all down, though. It's video evidence out there somewhere. But all right, let's go ahead and hop into the final part of the show here. We got Weddle. Let me share my screen. All right, here we go. What offensive player are we starting with this week, Daddy-O?
Let's try to be different. Let's go.
We're just picking a starter here, Dad.
A starter, I know.
I
pulled up a list. So it's an offensive player.
Give me a name.
I know. It's an offensive player. I'm trying to think.
You're dragging
we
this
already
out.
went Derrick Henry. I'm trying to be different.
All
right, back up. Do we have a train to catch? Now you got me thinking about you singing the song, and my mind's gone blank. Let's go.
Yes, blame me. Blame me.
Julio Jones.
All right, there we go. We got somebody. We're off to the races. Okay, so we are in the NFC, not the NFC South. We are taller than 6'3", and we have a number higher than 85.
And it's not a wide receiver, and it's not Tampa
And it's
Bay.
not a wide receiver, so it's got to be a tight end in the NFC. And higher than 85, but it's close to 85. So we're looking at like 86, 87. Oh, there's tons of tight ends at 86, 87. He's not still in the league, is he? Oh, okay, good.
What about
who else?
Jawan Johnson?
All right, Jawan Johnson. Let's go with Johnson. Jawan Johnson. All right, we got the tight end. Oh, wait, that wasn't good because we're not in the NFC South. But we do have 6'4", and age. So it's a young tight end. Interesting. And the NFC.
Maybe it's a Redskins tight end. Logan Thomas.
Logan Thomas. What number's Logan, though? I can't think off the top of my head. What number's Logan? Isn't he only 82?
I thought he was like
82.
86, but maybe
no,
you're
he's
wrong.
82. No. So it's a young. Oh, but also Logan's old. Even at that. What number is like Dulcich or something? It could be Cole Kmet. We'll just throw out Cole Kmet. We'll throw Cole Kmet out there. Okay. All right. Cole Kmet's 6'6". Jeez. Okay. So it's a 24-year-old tight end.
It's not in the North.
And it's not in the North. So we got either the NFC East or the NFC South. I'm struggling to remember numbers. Oh, what about Goddard? It could be Dallas Goedert. Isn't he 88? He is 88. He's only 6'5". So it's not. So we are in the NFC West. So we have Zach Ertz is older than Dirt. Noah Fant is probably not 24 years old. I'm gonna go with Noah Fant though for Seattle just to continue to move. Oh!
Wow,
Let's
good
go.
pull. Good pull.
Let's go.
5
I knew he
guesses.
was young, but I thought he may have been 25. But there you go. 24-year-old. Oh, wait. Whoops. Here we go. All right. Let's go hard mode. Give me another player anywhere. Offense, defense, doesn't matter.
Let's go with John Bostic.
Oh, I hate you. At least he's listed on the Saints for now.
Oh, we got 31 age. The age right. He's
Okay.
31.
Yeah. So we're on defense, and we're in the AFC. We have a low number, though, so we're probably looking at corner.
Shorter than 6'1", it says.
Let's go with, like, Tre'Davious White. I don't know how you spell his first name. Tre'Davious White. Here we go. Okay, we're on Buffalo. It's not a corner, though. Buffalo, not a corner, not a linebacker. So it's got to be a safety. Okay, so...
Wait, how do we know? Hold on a second. How do we know it's defense?
It's Jordan Poyer. I'm almost positive. Oh!
His number is wrong.
Micah Hyde? Boom.
Wow, and 4 guesses. We're getting good at this.
Yep. There you go. That's funny how similar Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde are. They're both 6 foot. They're both 31. They're both under number 27. They're both on Buffalo. They're both safeties. Like I literally had both. Like I had a 50-50 shot at that point, and I guessed wrong with Poyer. So Micah Hyde was the guess. So there you go. That's a show. A couple of questions.
And just so you know, John Bostic started this whole thing.
Ugh, John Bostic. Can we just sign one big name secondary player? I don't care if it takes a 4th rounder. Maybe, dude. I would love a free safety. Adele says, I love Washington, but I can just see the Eagles stomping us out, man. I think I think either one can win, honestly. They probably would be the favorites with the moves they've made, though. And with the
we're going to predict NFC East gets predicted next week, so.
Yes, sir. D Hall was right. The jump Eagles are loading up and are from the jump, and we're stagnant. Yeah. The safety, not Poyer. Yep, Micah Hyde. There you go. All right, we're good. Well, that's a show. Thank you guys, everybody.
It is a show.
In the chat, we, of course, had the nice super chat there from, I believe it was Hawk, right? Early on. Thank you so much, Hawk, for the super chat. Bruce Wayne and Damian Wayne ain't got nothing on this father and son duo. There you go. Appreciate the support on that for sure.
Thank you for the vote of confidence. If you would like to
become a member, you can it's 99 cents a month. You can support us that way. You can get some access to some emojis and some chat badges if you would like to do that and just support the channel. I'm sure eventually we'll have, as we gain more members, we'll have some maybe member-only streams or something where you can come in and ask questions and just discuss and have fun, or we can do other member-only content, I'm sure, eventually as we get more. But thank you guys so much. And, of course, we will be live tomorrow with the Uncut. There's no football this weekend, so no live stream over the weekend.
But next week, the season starts. We will be on the eve of the NFL season next Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Can actually watch games and not have to do the game cast.
Yes. But anyway, all right. Any last things there, J-Dubs?
No, I'm good. I just want to say the same thing. Thanks to everybody for hanging out with us. Great comments as always. Love the sense of humor and look forward to the next show.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, all that good stuff. Go watch my other video that I just put out about John Bostic if you want to see me mad. And until next time. See ya!